Welcome back to another episode of Holy Shit, This Is Guy Ever Shut the Fuck Up? Spoiler alert, no! Hi. Hello. Hello, I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi. Happy birthday. You're about a month too early, but I appreciate it. Would you rather have $500,000 or dinner with Jay-Z? Oh, $500,000 easily. What the f do you think I am? In this economy, I can't say no to $500,000. That's like 2 months of rent. Team pancakes or team waffles? Oh, team waffles all the way. Easy. Got the little pockets in the waffles. You can just like stuff with butter and syrup. I don't view pancakes or waffles as their own food. I merely view them as a vessel to shove syrup and butter into my throat. Are there any pieces of media you watched growing up that you think had a significant impact on you becoming a furry? This right here is called Raccoons 2. It came out in 2008. I saw it on Newgrounds when I was 11, and I'm thoroughly convinced that that changed the course of my life forever. I remember just watching the funky singing raccoon and thinking, oh my god, this is the greatest thing that I've ever seen in my whole life. Fast forward 15 years and I'm here. Do you like Fortnite? I haven't really played enough Fortnite to even get a gauge on it. I think I played it once with my brother when COVID first started because we were both lonely, and we played 2 rounds together, and he hated playing with me so much we didn't do it again. Also, in the case of World War III, would you fight it or try to avoid it? Why'd I fight in World War III? I'm not fighting for a government. This is Canada. We pussyfoot our way around wars all the time. I know, I'd avoid it. I'd probably just hide in a hole till a nuke kills me. How about talking about the enshittification of all the streaming services? This has been driving me nuts, and I have been canceling stuff lately. At this point, I just refuse to pay for a streaming service, I'm gonna be honest. All of them got all their own proprietary shit at this point, and it's annoying to keep up with. I know I touched on this a bit in the subscription services video, but Netflix came in and was just like, yo, you get everything that you could ever want for $8, and everyone was like, cool, I don't have to pirate it anymore because everything's here for this one affordable price. And then publishing companies and production studios did what they always do, and they tried to monopolize the fuck out of it. So now there's like 40 streaming services, and each of them have like 2 or 3 shows that they actually give a shit about. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what I technically do nowadays on YouTube, but this meme is pretty much how I feel. Opinions on fan art. I've been meaning to do something for you, but I wasn't sure if I should just go at it and pop it in the Discord, if there's another way I should approach it. I can say straight up that if anyone ever draws me unprompted and sends it to me, I will actually cry tears of joy. I fucking love that shit, dude. It's actually so cool. If anyone ever does that, I will owe you my life and my soul. I'm not gonna tell you to do it because I feel like that's a little bit narcissistic, but if you really want to, if you really want to, you know, what deems someone as popular, or better yet, a word that's an affront to God. I firmly believe that once you pass 1,000 of anything on any social network, you just immediately start getting brainworms that just get worse the bigger the number gets. I can already feel it happening to me. I do not trust myself. Looks like a hyena agenda shirt, so I have to say that your shirt is pretty cool. It's a Nomad Complex shirt, actually. I actually bought this tank top IRL once the store reopened last month. I liked it so much, I decided to put it on the version of this avatar that I go to like dance worlds and shit in. I have set up the audio link to look sick as fuck, because I'm a smart little cookie. Would you make a TV series entirely in the VR medium if you could? I definitely would. I feel like that'd be very cool. I feel like VR, at least the equipment that I have currently to film in it, would have to evolve a little bit before I could really go full hog with something like that, but it is something that I genuinely think could be done in the medium of VR. I strongly believe that doing stuff in VR could be a huge way to help express yourself and actually make things that you wouldn't be able to make otherwise. It's an incredibly powerful tool for content creation. Obviously, it's a little bit different than if you were like shooting on an actual live set, and there are some limitations in itself, such as space. Like I'm filming this in my bedroom where like half of the room is taken up by my bed, so I don't have a lot of walking space. But in terms of acting or casting characters or everything, you can do all that shit now just by yourself if you wanted. And there's also tools that are coming out to help combat latency if you're filming with other people. The field of VR and the tools that you have to create like videos and photos of it is very quickly evolving. So if I was given the opportunity to make a series or something of that caliber in VR, fuck yeah, I would totally jump on it. What's something big that you really want to make? I want to make more music video stuff, definitely. The American Trash video is a lot of fun to make, and the fact that it's been received as well as it has makes me really happy. I have a couple songs in mind, like an old cover I did of Hurt by 9 Inch Nails, or Midwest Indigo by 21 Pilots. Stuff that has more of a narrative scope as well, and stuff that looks a little bit more cinematic. I don't know exactly how well I can get that translated across in VR chat, but it is something that I'd love to experiment with and work out how to do, because I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. Furry hackers. Also, have a great day. Thank you. Okay. Couple quick things. I try not to talk about politics at all on this channel whatsoever. The reason being, I don't consider that something of value that I would bring to the table, and I want to keep this as fun for everyone as I possibly can. I have friends that go across the whole political spectrum. Most of them fall around the center left or left leaning kind of sphere, but I have a few that are traditionally more right wing. Regardless, I always make sure that the people in my circle actually meet the basic criteria of having human empathy and not wishing death on people for being a different skin color. Now, all that said, The furries hacking the Heritage Foundation was the funniest thing that happened all year. I'm sorry, but if there's people that are making an entire fucking document just filled with fascist doctrines saying how they're gonna take over the entire government in half a year, I think they should have their names and email addresses revealed. Those in higher positions that are able to cause change on a political scale should not feel safe against the people that they're trying to destroy the lives of. Fuck the Heritage Foundation, fuck Project 2025, Mike Howell is a bitch, furries stay winning. Don't fuck with groups that are tangentially related to furries because they will absolutely fuck your shit. They know their way around a computer system. Most of these motherfuckers are in IT. You remember that meme where it's like a bunch of them in a plane and they're talking about how that's like an actual danger? That's not a lie. Would you rather have unlimited bacon but no games, or games, unlimited games but no games? Probably a common answer, but I do the unlimited bacon, because at least I have bacon. Favorite artists, both furry and not. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a basic bitch. Most of the artists that I like, you've probably already heard of. But I do want to take this moment to call out 2 furry artists that I like, who are Chris Leopard and Comfort Doggo. Look at the arts I've gotten from both of them, dude. Don't they look sick? They look so fucking good. For non-furry artists, I'm a slut for pixel art. I'm trying to remember, what's the name of the, hold on. KLD Pixel, he's cool. How was Costa Rica? I hope you had a great vacation. Costa Rica was a lot of fun. I didn't record much of it at all because, you know, I was busy actually enjoying the vacation. Overall, it was a great time. 10 out of 10, would recommend. I drank enough daiquiris to kill a horse. What's your favorite genre of YouTube videos? I found myself enjoying when people do really weird shit in video games, particularly Let's Game It Out and Doug. I love those 2 creators. Second to that, I'm a big fan of analog horror and also the analysis of it. I've danced around the idea of making my own analog horror thing. If I do, I probably won't post it on this channel, but it is something that I'd be fascinated to try and do, even though the market is completely oversaturated and half of them are bad. What kind of games do you tend to enjoy when you aren't streaming, and do you tend to listen to music outside the game while you play? I mean, considering I haven't streamed in like 2 months, so I guess any game I play is a game I like outside of streaming. I'm a big sucker for role-playing games. I'm replaying Final Fantasy X for the 18 millionth time now, currently. I love Sonic Frontiers. That game's a lot of fun to play. I'm also playing the shit out of Super Monkey Ball Rumble. I'm a big sucker for puzzle games, or like you know, like physics-based games. It's not really occurred to me to stream those just because I don't know how entertaining I could make a puzzle game. Also, listening to music outside the game, it does depend on the game. Like if the music or the atmosphere or something is really important to a game, then generally I'll leave the in-game music on. But if it's something like fucking American Truck Simulator, of course I'm gonna listen to my own music. I don't think the American nuance and the subtle intricacies of American Truck Simulator is gonna be lost on me if I'm playing Porter Robinson in the background. I tested myself for autism about a month ago and I'm getting my results back in 5 days. How should I prepare myself for this news when I'm going in it with the mindset that it will come back as positive? Before I say anything, I feel like it's important to say that I'm just a random wolf on the other side of the screen who doesn't actually know anything about you as a person, so everything I'd say could be totally off base, I don't know. But I did want to answer this comment. For those of you who don't know, I was actually diagnosed with autism when I was 3, which probably explains a lot. I was really high functioning and obvious symptoms kind of stopped appearing when I was in high school. I don't know what the science is behind that, but whatever. I also have family members with autism that range from like super high functioning, you can't even tell at first glance, they're very good at masking it, all the way down to pretty much entirely nonverbal. My entire family is a fucking smorgasbord of neurodiversity, so I've always kind of been around it. I know it's not exactly the same thing, but last year I got myself tested for ADHD, and when it was confirmed to me that I actually did have it and I got an official diagnosis, I looked at it and I was like, cool, I have this now. Anyway, when you get the thing on paper, it doesn't really change anything about who you are or what you already knew about yourself, especially if you're going in with the mindset that it's going to be positive. It doesn't really change anything about you, and realistically, it shouldn't change anything about the way people interact with you if you've been getting by just fine so far. Obviously, when you get an official diagnosis, it's easier to take next steps, figure out what is the best way for you to go forward, see what methods there are for you to help with things like communication or for education if you're still in school. Having a diagnosis can help with that, so I would personally take it as a positive thing. Getting an official diagnosis for any sort of neurodiversity isn't the end of the world. It's the beginning of a new one, frankly. Shit can be hard at first and startling depending on how prepared you were for the diagnosis or to realize you have a thing, but you got this. I believe in you. That is my very, very uneducated advice from a dude who took broadcasting in school and has no idea how the human brain works. Cool. SpongeBob. What are the negative sides of your content creation and why do you do it despite? One of the most negative sides that is probably the most talked about one, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, is the constant subconscious inference that the numbers on your channel are a direct linear representation of how valuable or liked you are as a person. And when the numbers go down after they've been up for a while, that means that what you're making is less valuable than it should be, which is not true, and you need to get that fucking bullshit idea out of your head right now. I hope I've been in focus this whole time. That'd be awkward if not. Oh, I definitely haven't been. Cool. Sometimes I'll have a video that does numbers, like the video game consoles by how gay they are video, which got almost 3K views. And I was like, well, why about video game franchises? That'll probably do well too, right? And then I did that, and it didn't do as well. And I couldn't help but think to myself, it's like, did I do something wrong? Like, was there something that I did in this video that didn't resonate as well as with anything else? And the answer No, the YouTube algorithm just sucks. And that's something important to remember. If you make a video and it fucking flops, that is not something that you should take personally. That just means that YouTube, for whatever reason, arbitrarily decided, hey, this video isn't gonna do as well on the algorithm because fuck you. And even though I'm ranting about how the video game franchise's video didn't do as well as that, it still got 600 views. 600 people still clicked on the video and liked it, and that's a huge fucking number. I remember I saw a tweet talking about how to make it big on YouTube, and someone was like, your algorithm is your audience. And I don't agree with that. The random people that YouTube computes it thinks will probably like your video is not the audience. The people who see the video and then like it, that's the audience. That's who you want to make shit for. And it doesn't matter if it's like hundreds of people or if it's like your mom. Make shit for your mom. As well, doing the weekly videos can be a little bit of a pain, even though the actual filming isn't that difficult and I do enjoy editing them. I haven't drank water in 2 hours, can you tell? Sometimes the immediate creation of the project can be overwhelming even if it's a small thing, and sometimes it'll feel overbearing and that I don't want to do it. But I still do. I still grind through and make shit weekly despite sometimes me not wanting to in the moment because A, this is something I love to do, and B, this is a promise that I made to myself. In case the intro doesn't make it obvious and you haven't seen this video over here, I am making a weekly video as our resolution for 2024, and it's been going fucking amazing so far, and I'm not gonna let me having like a downward day or like a shit week stop me from reaching that goal. I'm proving to myself that I can do this thing, and I'm doing it by doing the thing. I think that answers your question. I don't know. How do you feel about the Madam Web movie half a year later? About the same. I still wish I didn't have eyes, so there's that. What's your favorite childhood cartoon and why is it Ed, Ed, and Eddie? I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen an episode of Ed, Ed, and Eddie in my life. I've heard about it, I've seen it used a lot in like meme culture, but I don't know the first thing about it other than there are 3 people who have a very unfortunate naming scheme. My actual favorite cartoon, I want to say probably Sonic X because I was obsessed with that show when I was a kid. If you could somehow become your persona, would you? Is that even a fucking question? What method would you prefer the transformation to be? I do see one of the examples listed as gun, so I'm gonna go with that one. I like the idea of like someone rolling up and just shooting someone in the face, and instead of them dying, they're just like, ha, you're gay and covered in fur now. If you could fully or partially transform into any creature at will, 1, what's the creature? I'm sure I don't have to answer that. Where could that ability be most useful in society and or everyday life? I strive to be as useless as I possibly can, so this doesn't really apply to me. How much money would you make from furries? Probably none, realistically. I mean, I can't draw for shit. I guess if I want to pick an ability that would get me money, I could just say drawing. Or maybe I can invent that gun that transforms you. That'd be cool. What's your favorite childhood memory? Would it be weird to say drinking in a trailer park? During grade 9 in high school, the parents of my friend at the time had a trailer in a trailer park that was right outside of town, and we would oftentimes go there during the weekends or during the summer and just like drink and play video games, and that was about it. I don't have contact with that friend anymore because life, I don't need to tell you anything, fuck off. But memories like that kind of remind me that, you know, I used to enjoy hanging out with this person, even if I don't really anymore. Thoughts on the crash of the internet system the other day? Kind of funny how one little fuck up can shut down multiple businesses. For the 3 people that don't know, CrowdStrike ended up crashing earlier this week, which is a security system that apparently a lot of companies use that I didn't know existed until everything got fucked. At my office job, we all use Macs, so I wasn't affected, but I have multiple friends who essentially got the day off because all their computers were screwed up. It is really funny how there can just be like one thing in the chain that fails and then just everything gets wiped out. It's kind of similar to what happened with Rogers a few years back. For those of you who don't know, in Canada, Rogers is one of the major telecommunications companies that runs a lot of things, including banks and grocery stores and other stuff. So when they had a massive outage, pretty much everything just shut down. I'm not talking just the internet. I'm talking you couldn't pay with debit at a majority of stores because the like bank machines just stopped working. For over a day, you just couldn't do a lot of stuff unless you had cash on you. This is kind of echoing what I said about streaming services earlier, about how when you have a monopoly of things and then that monopoly fails, everyone gets fucked. Oh no, the telecommunications oligarchy fucked with the banking oligarchy, and now we can't buy groceries at the grocery oligarchy. It's a fucking, it's a shit show. Thoughts on Bark? The root beer or the furry app, either is fine. Well, I mean, the root beer, it tastes like root beer. I don't know. Controversial opinion that might piss some people off. I can't really tell a difference between Bark and Mug. And for the app, I enjoy it. I mean, I used it for about a week and then I stopped. It seems cool, but I don't know. It just never really stuck with me. My first job was at a brewery. I was in packaging. My manager taught me how to brew. Free beer every day. Part of my job was to taste the beer. Got forklift certified. They had me brewing small batch of beers. My batches sold really well if they ever got to the customers before we drank it all. The owner almost ran the company into the ground. I was part of the layoffs. When they told us that they couldn't keep us on, I was wearing a big black cowboy hat, big steel chain around my neck, and my company button up that had El Jefe on the name badge. Cool story, bro. Tell it again sometime. Get you a man who's forklift certified, folks. Do an entire video in Gen Alpha slang. I want you to curl up in a ball of utmost cringe. That sounds like a nightmare. What even is alpha slang? Isn't there a dude on Instagram that's just doing that shit all the time now? He like 3D animates shit like uncannily, and it's just like filled with Gen Alpha shit.
When a Sigma readies off his battle bus into the next match, we should spam W's in the chat.
Honestly, hard pivot. If this channel ever starts dying out, we're gonna fucking go right into that, baby. I will single-handedly bring Elsa Gate 2 into fruition. If you could send any song into space for an alien civilization to find, what would you send out? Fuck, this is actually a really good question. I think I'd do Face Shopping by Sophie, because I just kind of want to see the aliens' faces just melt off. What do you think of Eurovision? A non-binary person won representing Switzerland, and it was amazing. I mean, that sounds very cool, but I have never watched Eurovision in my entire life. I don't know why, I've just never really had an interest in Eurovision. I just kind of know it exists. Wasn't there a group this past year who got the bottom of both the popular vote and the judges' vote, but they just looked like they were having a good time? That's the kind of energy I want to have in the world. I'm not going to read this comment out loud because it's too long, but do I know you? I am so sorry if you're actually like a viewer and you comment stuff on occasion, but I don't recognize your name at all. I know YouTube still shadow bans comments sometimes, even though I have my comment moderation set to none. So maybe you just got lost, I don't know, and I'm sorry. Are you a hamburger or hot dog kind of guy? Oh, hamburger, easy. What's your favorite bug? What kind of bugs are there? Probably ladybugs. They look neat. Favorite type of rock? Igneous. Why are you gay? It's a question science has still been unable to answer, but if you have an answer, please tell me. How do you get through each day with the knowledge you'll always be Canadian? I don't. I just kind of fester in it. If you know any coping mechanisms for being Canadian, please help me. Kick me in the throat. Okay. So I was going to do a bit where I just like made a show of it, like physically kicked my like feet up and just kicked you in the face. But then I realized some of you motherfuckers are into that shit. You ain't getting that shit from me for free, dog. You gotta pay up. Patreon.com/campfireharvest for me to kick you in the face. I said that I would respond to every single comment. This is not an exception. I'm very sorry for your ears. Tanyawijabawan knows that the people's winning contains some tessi of my uwu nyawij. Te wotis twi in the seventh heaven is te woo place of my revelation. Learn that I am owo all hewing tilde, te all knowing tilde. Glorified is my sanctity and my evaluated uwu is my name. Paradise is owo my wine and heck is the heat of my scorching. What fucking community have I manifested for myself? What is this even? Is this like from the Bible? Did you awooify the Bible? Well, if I wasn't going to hell before, I am now. How many chairs do you think you could throw at someone? Would it depend on the person/chair? Would you be sad? Would you be angry? Who is the coconut man that I see in your videos? In order, like 4. It would depend on the person and chair. I wouldn't be sad. I would probably be angry. Don't talk about the coconut man. He's shy. Is there anything in English that frustrates you to think about? Y'all ever think about the I before E except after C rule and how it gets broken 8 million times? I don't like English because it's just a complete lawless wasteland and not in the fun way. There's nothing consistent about it. I don't know a lick of it, but I do prefer German and how you can just kind of make up shit, and also how the translations are very to the point. How far are you from getting a fursuit? At this point, it's literally just a question of money. Deadass, once I handle some mandatory expenses that I have coming up, I do want to start saving up for one. I definitely prefer partials because, as I've said before, my whole brand at this point is wearing clothes, but I probably would splurge and get the full suit just because, you know, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Have it. Do you still have a crush on Majira Strawberry? Haven't seen you post about the body pillow you have of him in a while. Listen, motherfucker, I told you that in confidence. Just wanted to share some love. Your content certainly makes me smile whenever I see an upload from you. That is very heartfelt. Thank you very much, Aki. I am do mega happies when people looks at my shits and be like, yeah. What's your favorite Pokemon? Believe it or not, I've never actually played a Pokemon game in my life. The closest I've gotten was a Pokemon Red randomizer that I played at the recommendation of my friend that I don't think I finished. Gun to my head, probably Arcanine, just because I like the design, because obviously. I know a lot of people will probably say Lucario in the comments section, but I've never gotten the point of Lucario, I'm gonna be honest. I get he's a jackal or whatever, and that's easy fur bait, but I mean, like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Also, when are we getting the meme channel in the server? I'm probably gonna have to make a couple different rules for it, but just make sure you're not posting anything too offensive. A little bit of edgy shit is fine, just don't go fucking balls to the wall and make people think that you actually hate them. How are you doing? You good? Yeah, I'm good. Are furries too horny? Okay, I don't think you can be too horny, but there is a time and a place. I can be horny as I fucking want in my private life, but I'm not gonna showcase that to all of you or to any friends I have that wouldn't feel comfortable with it. Not even furries, just people in general who make being horny their whole personality are generally not people that I am comfortable associating with. I know some of you motherfuckers like to be incredibly horny on main, and if that's working for you, that's fine, but I cannot see myself doing something like that. And I don't get when people retaliate against stuff, being like, you know, why are you suppressing me doing this stuff? And it's like, no one's really suppressing you, they're just expressing that they aren't really comfortable with what you're doing. It's not telling you to stop being horny, it's not saying that that you're not allowed to be. You're not, like, we're not getting 1984 level on this shit. It's just someone saying, hey, what you're doing makes me uncomfortable. I would appreciate it if you stopped. And if it's something that's entirely off base, like if it's just like a casual remark that you make about a character being like, oh, that's attractive, and then they're like, whoa, shut the fuck up, you piece of shit, then yeah, I can see how that's a problem. But if you're just openly talking in front of everyone just how you want to get railed or what you would do to fucking fictional wolf character number 87, then yeah, maybe consider shutting the fuck up. In your opinion, what makes a VR live music performance great or entertaining? While the atmosphere is very different, I do equate it to kind of going to an IRL music concert. Especially when I went to Ferality and when I've gone to a couple raves and music festivals in virtual reality since then. Especially with artists that make their whole thing about VR chat, such as Whispers, who I saw last month. He put on an awesome performance at Ferality, and then I saw him again later at the Cease and Desist Festival. And both times are very cool. I will say, I think there is a difference between like putting play on a YouTube video in front of a bunch of people and then having a person actually performing stuff live through VR. If you know that they're doing it, it does feel like a real event. You can slot yourself into that pretty easily. If there's a way to combine people doing things in real life with like the lighting and production of a world like Club Fin, I think the future of live performances, especially in digital spaces like this, could be insane. Where's a good place to start when it comes to content creation in VRC? Are there any good assets, tips, or tricks you can give? It does wildly depend on the kind of stuff that you want to make. Like me personally, for this, the bar to entry is pretty low. All I really have that's my own is this avatar base and this mic that I downloaded for free to make it look like I had like a proper mic input and make it a bit more realistic. Also, something you gotta account for a little bit is the audio latency. Like when my lips move, they're actually a little bit behind real time. Normally what happens is I go into Resolve and I have to shift the audio forward a few frames to actually match my lips. There are a few items that I use. Unfortunately, none of them are free, but this is being recorded on VRC Lens right now. I can actually, hold on. This is what the current setup looks like while I film this. There's me right there, and I'm being recorded by VRC Lens, which is like a $10 attachment you can put on your avatar. You can see here, I'm able to do shit like you can zoom in and you can zoom out. It is a very useful tool that can make your stuff look a little bit more cinematic depending on how you use it. As well, I also have a thing called Excess Overlay, which lets you view your computer screen in VR. It's essentially a better version of the Steam overlay, so you can have like a little thing of your computer desktop off to the side in case you're working with scripts or something like that. Like what I have going on here is I have an Excel spreadsheet of all the different questions that I got asked, and I'm scrolling down that over time so I can know what the fuck I'm answering. Check out the website VRC Mods. They have like thousands of Unity packages that are for various props or various avatar bases or any other stuff. If you're planning on doing some more like theatrical or scripted content, you might be able to find some stuff there that you like. Same with VRC Arena. If you want to get some add-ons for your avatar, you can try there. It is mainly furry centric though, so if you have like a regular, like an e-boy or an anime avatar or whatever, you might have to find a different resource for that. There's also a camera animation thing now you can put on your avatar that's similar to the camera animation mod that I used to film this music video. Incredibly useful, super cinematic. You should definitely consider getting it if you can. I think it's like $10 on Gumroad. If you're gonna get VRC Lens, I do recommend having a basic knowledge of how film cameras work. You kind of gotta have an understanding of like, okay, like what's an exposure? How does that affect the shit that I fuck? I won't go into how to actually record stuff with OBS because that's a whole thing in and of itself, but TLDR, just make sure VR chat is full screen and then that OBS is recording it along with the audio from whatever headset you're using. And also, use DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is genuinely such a good program. It takes all the good things that Premiere has going for it, except it's not Premiere, so it's even better. And it's also free. Genuinely can't recommend making this your editing software enough. It also has a very good colored thing. You can be like, whoa, oh, isn't that cool? But kind of looping back to the beginning, at the end of the day, in order to start doing stuff, it really is just as simple as just starting it. The first video in this series is me just in a sleep world, just ranting about shit for 20 minutes. And when you make one thing, you're able to kind of look at that and say, what did I like? What did I not like? And then build off of that. And then making stuff, you kind of get a sense of what you are capable of doing or the kind of stuff that you do want to make, and you can get inspired by yourself. I hope that helps somewhat. Do you? Not normally. If it weren't for VRC, do you think you'd still be doing this just in another medium? I probably would, to be honest. I have videos of me before using my real life face cam. I just prefer shooting stuff in here because it better represents who I am as a person, and I can go to different environments and shit. So if I didn't get involved in VR chat stuff, there is still a solid chance that I'd be making similar videos, just in a different style. Also, thanks to your vids inspiring me, I've started to do little vids in VRC of my own, so thanks for that and keep on rocking. This makes me incredibly happy to read. Genuinely, I am very happy to hear that, because when I started, I had no idea what the fuck I was like kind of doing. I just knew I wanted to make shit. So if I'm able to just take my incessant stupid ramblings and like put them somewhere and people can actually find inspiration in that, that is actually really cool. And thank you for telling me, because that's awesome. Keep doing your shit. king slash queen slash other form of nobility. Thank you very much for watching to the end, and may your harvest be bountiful and your dick be wet. Shout out to the people that give me money on a regular basis: Gordon, Hakai Mono, Foxy Boy, Kyla Cray 95, Fox Named Ari, Alleycat VR, Jargy Roo, Theo Firefox, Serial Saurus, Mano Kalos, Beast King Barbaros, Uber Bounty, and Joel. As well, a thank you to people who gave me money one time that I'm reading off for the whole fucking year: Applejuice Dragon, Beast Churger, Bro, Dribby, Theo Firefox, Gordon, Kakaro, Levy, Enjoy.tj, and Welcome the Wolf. I'm filming the outro before I finish shooting the video, and I got 50 comments to get through, so hopefully I actually managed to answer them all. If not, whoops. I just noticed my tail's been wagging this entire time. Hopefully it's not too distracting in the video.